Baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black queen, baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black
Welcome back to Love Life After. I am Christelle,
I'm Brittany.
and today we have a special guest, one of Brittany's brother, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
What's up, world? It's Rakeem Chambers. I'm a local broker in the state of North Carolina, also licensed in Connecticut as well. Thank you guys for having me today.
No problem. Thanks for coming out. So, as I was explaining to you earlier, we do 3 different segments on the podcast. We talk about love, like what you love, what's going on in your love life, and how do you love yourself, like your self-care regimen. And then we talk about life, like what do you have going on, what do you do, like how do you spend your time, and after, which would be any advice or any inspirational quotes that you would like to leave with the audience. So we could start off by discussing your love. Like, what do you love and what do you love to do?
So I love helping people become more financial independent. And the vehicle that I use to help do that is real estate. So what I love to do is pretty much empower and impact my community, my family, my friends, everyone. As far as my love life, I am currently in a relationship.
Okay.
Right now, it's been a year that I've been in a relationship. Young guy. We're courting right now. I wouldn't say like we're just dating.
Courting. People still say that.
Yeah, courting. And I just say that because we're being very intentional. I've been in relationships where I was dating and the female knew what it was. Like she knew I was going to be taking other females out. She knew I was going to be doing whatever I wanted to do, pretty much, as long as I didn't disrespect her. But yeah, this is different. So, but yeah, that's my love life.
So what do you do for like self-care?
Self-care, I'm really, really bad on that.
Really?
I'm really, really bad on that. And I need to do better. I would say the best thing I probably do right now is going to like a spa, getting my nails done. I'll get the milk and honey if you go to South Point. So you want the milk and honey spa, and they'll take care of you.
What's the milk and honey?
So they put like it's this ginger type of like. It's like rocks. So it'll get like all the calluses out of your hands. So like I shake people's hands on a daily basis.
Okay. Right, yeah.
So they'll get the calluses out and then it's like wax. You dip your hand in like a hot wax. And then they put a bag on it and then they take it off. It's like it's soothing. Milk and honey.
Never even heard of that before.
What's the place? What's the name of the place?
Avalon Nails in South Point.
Avalon Nails, South Point.
Y'all owe me my plug.
That's what's up. So like
self-care is very, very important because like I work 8 to 8 Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends it's either family time or I'm trying to just sit back, or I'm telling myself, oh, everybody else taking their foot off the gas, go ahead and go harder.
Right.
So right now I'm actually trying to find that balance. So with y'all asking that question is actually making me think a lot more what I need to do or what can I do to make sure that my mental is like refreshed and regrouped. Like even spiritually right now, I haven't really been pouring into myself. It's just been all business. But yeah.
Does that affect your relationship and your love life?
Yes. And they say that in the Bible too. Like even with Moses, that's what happened. You get so caught up in like the objective and then working that you like start to neglect the different things that surround you, because it's like I'm working for us. I'm working hard for us. Like shut up. Like let me just do what I got to do. I don't want to come home and it be this. But it's very, very important to make sure that you're not stretching yourself thin.
Right.
That's what I've learned as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's something that I try to work on daily. But
Yeah, you definitely do. Because I remember it was a point in time when my husband, like, it'll be times where he work. He's like, yeah, I want to just work this overtime. I'm like, yeah, it's fine to work overtime to get that extra money. I was like, but don't come home and give me your leftovers.
Right.
Because at the
Right.
end of the day, you still have to be a husband to me.
I'm laughing because that's the exact words Mel would say.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
Like,
feel like I'm getting your leftovers. I'm like,
yes,
yo,
like, and that's very important. That's
chill.
very important to women. We respect a hardworking man. Don't get it twisted. We respect that. But at the end of the day, like, we are females. We need reassurance. We need love. We need attention.
I think
Like,
that's the biggest thing. The two words you just said: attention and reassurance.
yes.
Like my partner, she's okay with me. Let's say we're walking in a mall. I'm not gonna be disrespectful. Let's say somebody they had a nice shape, and I'm not gonna be like this, like following them after we having a conversation. But if I be like, hey, babe, if I nudge her, I'm like, babe, look, she got a nice butt. Be like, yeah, that's a teardrop, or like stuff like that. But at the same time, like I have to make sure that she's secure
Mm-hmm.
with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think what happens with a lot of men, especially within our culture, African American culture, is we're taught. Have y'all read the Five Love Languages?
Yes, I have.
All
I
right,
read it years
so
ago.
it's a great book, and I think every person should have to read that book before they decide to be in a committed relationship.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or even just take the test. You know, it comes with a test
Yeah,
that you can take together.
because it's very, very important. There's so much things, past traumas from our childhood,
Yo, that's crazy.
from
Yeah.
everything that alters how we handle
How
the
we handle. Yep.
relationships.
Yep.
Like recently, with me basically playing the role that I play with with my partner. She has 2 kids, so I remember having an expectation going into the relationship that the parenting style will be similar to the household that I was raised in, and it was different. Although I said yes to her, I said yes to the kids prior to us, being in a committed relationship, living together, things like that. There were certain obstacles that my past, brought. So the reason why I bring up the 5 love languages is I started to notice like how I portray love, how I like to receive love, and how I give love. And it's a big, big, big thing. So, back to just in regards to like your timing and making sure that women feel secure and that reassurance, you have to also know, what it is that how she likes to be loved, how she receives it, and how she gives it. So like that's a must.
Yeah, it was crazy because I was with one of my good friends yesterday, and we were just talking about relationships and being married, girl talk. And I was like, like, even though we're adults and we're grown, and I was telling her, we went to school, worked bullshit ass jobs, got degrees, we married, got kids. I was, if we didn't deal with a lot of stuff that we dealt with, like from our childhood, like we have a lot of childhood trauma. That shit shows in your adulthood.
It shows.
It shows. Like, and I don't know why Black people are against going to therapy. I don't know, like, why that's such a cliche thing.
It's just a negative stigma put on it.
It
But
is.
I think we did it.
Yeah, like to be honest, like I really
I
honestly
recommend it for everybody.
I really, I mean, I don't go currently. I need to go back. I'm in the process of finding a new therapist, but I was going to therapy for like 3 years straight. Like, and that helped me notice the childhood traumas that I had to deal with, like with my mom, my dad. I'm the oldest,
How it shaped your perspective
on life, and it's like a reason why I'm so overprotective over my kids because like I was the oldest child. Like I had to basically co-parent with my mother when I was 9 and 10 years old.
Right.
So it was like
that
a lot
made
of
you
things.
very, very self-efficient.
Right.
So like I was raised to be very, very self-efficient. So when I see like things in the household where it's like, "Mommy, can you help me open this?" You better teach him.
how to do
you better
it.
say squeeze pop. So like he gets something in his head to where it's like, okay, I squeeze the bag and it's gonna pop. So it's like I'm just noticing different things, and
Yeah.
it's just based off, and it's no right or wrong.
It's not.
I
It's
think
not.
it's all based off of your past
Mm-hmm.
and your current perspective, and also
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as individuals we all know what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
Right.
And if not, we're in between that process of learning.
Right.
So eventually you're gonna come up to the conclusion of like, no, that's right and that's wrong. So it's just one of those things, man, where communication and just being open to actually grow. Like a lot of people be saying, like, yeah, I want to grow, I want to be the best I could be, but then they really stagnant on being, man, that's who I am. This is like what
And
I'm
it's
about.
not,
This
and
is
it's not who the hell you
and
are, because you have every day to
To
reinvent the wheel, reinvent the
right,
wheel, and
because
be a better person.
everybody has the same
Opportunities
opportunities.
in the
All
same
you have to
24
do
hours.
is
same
do
24
But
it.
it's just
hours.
basically what it is. It's the mindset. Like people are like they stuck with this mindset they have. They don't have a growth mindset, and they negative. Like they got negative thinking. They think like it's gonna be a negative outcome instead of looking on the brighter side.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, like we have a lot of pessimistic people. Like when it comes to their thinking. But yeah, like growing up for me, it was like, I grew up in New York. When I was the boys' age, I was doing laundry, I was cooking dinner, like I was doing all of that. And like me as a parent now, I'm like, damn, I don't want to do that to my kids. Like I don't want to grow them up so fast that they miss their childhood.
Yeah.
But now it's getting to a point my children are
have to show responsibility.
right.
Exactly.
Now they're
It's
going to middle
key.
school. It is
It's
key.
key.
They're going to middle school now. So today I told my son, I said, go in the refrigerator, take the black tray out and heat the chicken up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I don't know what to heat it up on. Go figure it out. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, y'all about to be in middle school. Go figure it out. Like, oh, mommy, I don't know how to try to tie the trash bag, because I guess I bought trash bags this time that don't have like the handles on it. Got the little flaps, the flaps on it. So like, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, you know what? Figure it out.
Right? Yeah.
Figure it out. Like sometimes, to be honest, I don't even show them because my boys are too. They smart. They too smart for their own good sometimes.
I think children in general around this age bracket is like they have all the keys.
Right.
We weren't exposed to everything that they were exposed to.
My shit was trial and error.
It was a lot of trial and error, but also I think our parents raised us to be more self-efficient than them.
Yeah, and I feel like my mom was a single parent, and
so
like
she did what she had to
do.
do. So you stayed home. You might have got your siblings from the bus and walked them home.
Yeah.
Like I say that to my girl right now. She's like, they too young. They can't.
Yeah.
Let them go out. Listen, y'all come back when the street lights are on. Don't
And
stay on this side of the street. You tell them all the rules, and
how
then
does she feel when you try to do you discipline them?
So that's the kicker too. So she's like, "Yo, you can thump them." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not putting my hands on. I'm not putting my hands on them." She understands my role and wants me to be the head of our household. In respect with saying that, we still have to deal with how they're raised when they're outside of our household when they're with their their biological dad. But she gives me all the free room. But me myself too, just being who I am, I'm not gonna sit there and like watch them run over her or something like that. Like with the little girl, like with her girl, she has a 9-year-old daughter. So with that, I'm not going to like step in that boundary, step in that kind of space, because to me that's like with young girls and young boys, I feel like it's a different level of sternness.
Right.
I feel like with little girls, you could teach a lot more as far as like by just talking.
Right.
I feel like with young men, they're going to try you. They're going to tempt. So it's like different things. You have to be stern with them. You have to say, listen. So like, well, right now she has a 3-year-old little boy. My biggest thing with him is big boy, be a big boy, be a big boy, be a big boy, so that he understands that okay, like yeah, I was whining, getting everything that I wanted, but that is changing. I can't do that. If I want to get what I want, I need to use my words. So I'm saying, yo, big boy, use your words. And then he just starts talking. Oh, I want to do this and I can't hear you. Talk clearer, stuff like that. So.
No, I think that's good, and that's a good age because that's around like potty training age when they going to the, like daycare,
so, like, it's
like
little
it's
things,
good,
like we were just talking about. You go to the snack drawer, Mommy, can I have this? can you open it? No, I'm show you. Bang. So now he's going to the snack drawer. Long as he said, can I have this? Yes, he go get it. Then he's getting it, and he's doing look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So he's showing you,
yeah,
and then he's like, look, I'm being a big boy. So seeing stuff like that is rewarding.
Yeah. And that's good because
like
that's good because kids they look for stuff like that too. Like they look.
So I've been out, like I haven't seen him in like a week. So like the time that I haven't seen him, I noticed like and even she did, like the difference in how, you know, he might whine a little bit more, like just different things. So it was, I'm like, yesterday I was seeing him as dog. I'm like, damn, like I'm seeing how much I affect him. So it was just one of those things.
So do you plan on having your own children?
Yes. But see, with me, like, goes back to childhood traumas. It goes back to perspective on life. I always told myself that I wanted to, and this is kind of obstacle we had to face in our relationship, because there was time that me carrying and holding on to my past expectations and my perspective, it made it to where we had to fight obstacles of me saying like, well, you know, I always told myself I don't want to have different kids in different households. So when I thought about the concept of, okay, they have their biological dad, and there might be a situation where they decide that they want to stay with their dad. And here it is, we might get married, have children, and then my children is in the household, and then it's like
they're separate.
So it's like it kind of made me want to retreat and back, like away from the relationship. But then you got to go back and you got to look at that person, because the kids gonna go, like they'll be gone one time. And I think for me, the biggest thing before I bring kids in this world, I just want to be able to accomplish certain things that's gonna set them up and like propel them further than like I was. So like with me being 27, I'm not in a rush. Like a lot of my friends, a lot of my cousins, a lot of like just people in general that I know, they had kids super young. And just seeing the different stuff, I'm like, nah, I want to do something different. So, I mean, Lord willing, you know, I have a little chambers out here someday.
That's what's up. I don't really know. I can't really like give a perspective on like a blended family because I was never a part of one. But I have friends that like I have a friend that's married. Like, you know, she has a blended family.
Blended families means like boundaries. You have to understand the boundaries. You have to respect those boundaries, because everybody is looking at the situation from a different perspective. And I just think it's one of those things where it's like you can't try to be too blended. I think it's more of a cordial thing.
Yeah,
it's a cordial thing, and it's out of respect for the family. But like I tell my my girlfriend, we not all about to go on no cruise together. Like it's just not. Like it's just.
But wait, because I know Swiss and Alicia and Mashonda, they take family vacations.
All of us.
But listen, like it can It can get to that. Eventually, it wasn't like that in the beginning, but it could get to that.
Birthday parties, like, you know, the kids' parties, stuff like that. We like, but you saying like, all right, we all about to go.
People do that. Like even like Neo. Neo has a new wife and he has a baby, and his ex-wife, well, which was messed up with that whole situation. When they were together, like he was like he ain't want no more kids. He made her get her tubes tied. That's fucked up. But he moved on, got married, and had another baby. But now she's
murder.
Yeah, that's OD. Like that's OD. Like that's why like. I don't want to get my tubes. I don't want any more kids, but I'm not getting my tubes tied. That's ridiculous. I'm not getting my tubes tied because that means my husband could still produce, and I ain't got time for that. But what I was saying, like, you know, as they move forward, you know, later on in life, they come together, they have holidays together, and they look at it like,
So let me ask you this. So he gonna bring the sweet potato pie over for Thanksgiving.
Pretty much.
And sit, and so he gonna come open. So it's perfect, because this is something I thought about, and this is something that like was just something that I had to evaluate in the relationship with dating a female with
Mm-hmm.
kids. So it's one of those things like, let's say it's Christmas and they staying over, they're with us for Christmas and they want to open their gifts, but you know he want to come early in the morning and open their gifts with him. So I can't come downstairs in my boxes and I can't be comfortable in my home because
I mean, I feel that, but I'm in a situation like
She has
that.
a blended family.
I have a blended family, and we actually invite her over. Well, I invited her over for Christmas morning. You know, I mean, she came the night before, and then she left.
Spent
came
the
back
night.
in the morning. No,
Why she didn't spend the night? No, she spent the night during the tornado.
Yeah,
in London, right?
Right. And then she came back the next day, you know, waited, all open gifts and all that stuff. But like, would you want to take that away from your kids? Yeah.
I mean, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. What are you taking away from your kids?
Like,
because all right, y'all gotta understand something. It's like the kid, like to me, I just want to be 100% honest with my kids. Like the situation is what the situation is.
Right.
So it's like I'm trying to think of a scenario.
So if the
I'm trying to think of a scenario.
With my perspective was like in the beginning it wasn't like that. Like, you know, and then we were missing my kids, you know, they wanted to spend time with their
siblings,
yeah. So, you know, and I'm like, you know what, let's just invite her and see.
I mean, he can come over for breakfast and everything, but
you wouldn't let.
I mean, you ain't no.
But why?
That's how you feel now, though.
Right.
No, I mean,
but I feel like 5-6 years down the line, like you ain't gonna feel the same way, man. You gonna be like, man, it is what it is.
Yeah,
like,
because you wouldn't want. Okay, so what if your kids are keep saying, "Hey, can they come? Can they come?" But you don't want to. She don't want to take, or he don't want to take that from his kids either.
So all right, so you saying like, all right, because now it's a difference. See, it's other kids, and so you saying like, all right, me and my significant other, we have kids now, and the kids still have their biological father, and he end up having another kid.
Right.
So what y'all saying is
right
that him and his kid that he just had will come over, open up gifts with the other two kids, and then my kids.
Right.
I'm not. That's not. No.
But that's what a blended family is.
But see,
that's what blended is.
Blended.
That
all together now.
He's not
he ain't with it. He ain't with it.
The kids can go. You can leave. Like,
but what if they want to stay with their kids?
And then you want to be there too. You want to be there
to. Hold on. So you saying he want to stay with his kids?
Yes.
He ain't feeling that shit. He like, nah. Too much. A bit much.
No.
But you know,
I mean,
different.
I
think,
all right. So let me. What happens when? Because I played this scenario in my head too. What happens when, like, all right, for instance, all right, bro. Let's say like this. You and Twig married. Let's say. I don't want to use y'all.
You can hypothetically.
Anyway, let's just say it's two people that are married. They end up getting a divorce. They get a divorce. They go their separate ways. They both start new families, start new chapters. And all right, you get a wedding invitation. The wedding invitation says, but the wedding invitation that you get is from your ex-husband's cousin, and it says, and no, but think about it. Y'all been in each other's lives. Right. Y'all been in each other's lives for a long time.
Right.
He cares about. Listen, come enjoy this experience with me.
Right.
You get the invitation, you send it back. +1. Calls you back and say, "Nah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want that. You know, at the wedding. I don't know if I want that awkwardness at the wedding." Do you go to the wedding? Do you say, "Okay, all right, understand"? I mean, it's their day. That's the most important thing. It's their day. All right, so that happens. There's already a stigma that's there to where it's like that's the other guy. That's so let's say in this same scenario, We got other family reunions. We got family cookouts that the other two kids outside of our they have to go to. Like I tell her now, already you already know my kids won't be going to that sleepover. I'm dead serious because what's gonna happen when my kids come back home and say they were treating me funny over there?
Well, if it's in a situation like that, if they're treating them different,
you're not gonna know until it happened.
Well,
so I'm the type. So me,
you try to protect it before it even happens.
Right. I don't.
You
think about what I said before. We said like it's certain things. It's certain things that you don't want when you come into like religion. So like one of the things that I didn't want was my children not growing up in different households.
Right.
So like part of me accepting that, like, and doing that is like that expectation had to drop because it is what it is. But then it's also it's awkward for me to say, dang, they already telling you like they don't want me to come because it's awkward. So what happens if
we have kids and then I send my kids over there and they treating them messed up?
Right. That's what it is. They're saying that
I feel you, but then again,
so y'all gonna say because no, that they're kids.
Not necessarily.
Kids, like what? Like what?
No, Keem, I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
I feel like if we're gonna be a blended family, it's gonna be a blended family. It's not gonna be
pick and choose.
Right.
No.
And I just feel like in reality, it's
well, I want to speak on Christelle's situation because Victoria. So Christelle mom keeps Anaya and Isaiah, my little cousin, and my little cousins, and Victoria, her mom keeps Victoria as well, and like she looks at Victoria like, oh, that's my grandbaby too.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Right. So like their situation is a total blended situation because her family, Christelle family, loves the shit out of that little girl.
But see, it's different. I'm telling you, you can tell.
But you know what? It probably is because of different people. You know, Christelle family, they different. Like, you know, they real loving, they real caring. Like when the situation happened with my uncle, they were like, oh, first of all, they tried to say Victoria was my baby. I was like,
Who was that? Who was
your dad? Your dad said
he didn't say. He said is that Brittany's baby?
He's like, that's Brittany baby. That's your baby. No, it's not. That's my uncle baby. That's not my baby. I know she kind of resembled me a little bit, but she's not mine. That's my uncle's. But they embraced it with open arms. I'm pretty sure they was probably disappointed because I mean, you know, the situation at hand. But they embraced that little girl. They love that little girl. She's actually in Africa now with her siblings for summer break. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
I wouldn't want to keep the kids away from each other, and
but I get what you're saying.
I want it to be as normal as possible. But like even when I think about my childhood, I was, you know, there was two different families. So I had my dad, his family. I had my mom, her family. Then I had my stepdad, his family,
and his family. Yeah,
I can tell you as that child. Certain times I did go in certain environments and feel like out of place.
Out of place.
You know, I can tell like, all right, he loves me, this, and this, and this is my family, but I knew what it was.
You knew what it was. But do you think that you emphasize and think about your childhood so much that you basically you fear for that to happen to your children, yes, so you just automatically think, oh shit, since I went through this as a kid, this is gonna happen to me.
Why we say, you know, growing up it affects when you get older. Relationships
absolutely. I mean, I really don't have a problem like with the blended thing, but like I said, I think it's all about being cordial. Like, we gonna be there. We gonna all support them. We all on the same team at the end of the day. But let's not act like
right.
Like,
so my question to you though: have you actually sat with her ex-husband and had a conversation with him?
Yes. So initially, when we first started dating, before I met the kids, I sat down and we all had a conversation.
Okay.
That's good.
And I mean, that's something that they had planned. Like that's how they wanted to do before you know, when you get into a new situation, we want to make sure that I guess to vet that person out or at least have a conversation with them. And I respected that because that's something that I would want to. And then also at the same time, it's a common courtesy. At that time, Cody was 2 and Kima was 8. So, you know, so they still little kids. But yeah,
I think like when you get into that
Yeah.
situation, then you will know what to do or however you
I think
feeling
it's
at
based
the
off.
time.
It's that, but it's also based off of the other family. Like you can tell
Right.
if other family is gonna really be inviting. You're gonna be able to tell what type of I'm not judging him, but I can tell what type of man he is.
Mhm.
Right.
I can tell that there's certain things I'm not going. It goes back to when we talked about the discipline. Like if we see one thing in this household, then one thing. Like if the kids this way when they're here, then they go there for 3, 4, 5 days, and then they come back, and you see like,
Different.
dang man, like I could tell they was just at.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not me. My kids don't have to go through that, so I'm not gonna do that because it's like it's a connection there, but it's a connection through the kids. So it's gonna be like,
Right.
yeah. Tell your brother, your big brother and sister. You'll see them when they get back. Cause
Right.
it's a birthday party. All right, go ahead. But it's like,
Mhm.
no, you're not staying. Like, no, I just don't. Me
You
myself. I
just you
don't.
Okay, so
basically
yeah.
you basically overprotective. You want to
Yes.
be
Okay,
overprotective
so
over
hold
there.
on. I think I was a little confused. So you said you wouldn't take
I'm
you
not
would
letting
send
my
your
child.
kids to their house.
I'm not letting my child spend the night. Like, not.
Right.
It's not gonna be no sleep. Like
Right.
they can stay, but
Mhm.
nah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, with that, I understand. I could, yeah, because you
I
say
don't.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
let your kids spend the night with them, but you're okay with them coming to you. But then you're not okay with their family coming over for like Christmas morning and all that
Nah,
stuff.
if they want to come, they want to come. But what I'm
But
saying is
you
like,
wouldn't
don't
do
make it
it.
to where it's like like to me. I think it's all about like, all right, a time schedule. Listen, we're gonna have breakfast at this time. Like,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
don't. Soon as I wake up, like soon as I
Oh no no
wake
no
up,
no. That's why you have boundaries
right, and
Right.
that's what I'm saying. But
right
those boundaries have to be established. Those boundaries,
beforehand.
like they
Nah,
have to
Mhm.
get right.
absolutely,
You
Right.
can't like
absolutely.
if we going through the process and then it's like I'm trying to think of a scenario. All right, for instance.
Mhm.
And I hope she ain't gonna be mad at it either way. All right, so bam, Christmas time.
Mhm.
They've been divorced since in like June, but Christmas time, she get a call and saying, "Hey, what would you like from the kids for Christmas? No harm, no foul.
Mhm.
Okay, I want bedroom shoes.
Mhm.
I'm not getting you any shoes.
Why the fuck you
What?
ask? Like what? What kind of
What?
shit? What kind of shit is that? Like
All
why
right,
ask?
so exactly. So it's like why ask? Me being the type of man that I am, coming from the like place that I come from, it's like to me that's one of those things where it's like you shooting your shot.
Mhm.
You know the whole when they say oh you don't buy a woman shoes she gonna walk out of your life type of thing. So I'm like
Mm-hmm.
well what do you mean like what? So she told me not like really knowing like hold on like I'm gonna
Like
be
with
like
not putting it to two and two
right
together, right?
so I'm like no. So she was like yeah I told him well why you ask she said the same statement and I'm like well if you're referring to this then that already happened because we already got a divorce. No I'm
Right.
just not buying you shoes etc etc.
Mhm.
Me being who I am I'm not gonna hold that stuff in. So
Right.
I addressed them, and I said what it was, and I felt like it was disrespectful to our foundation.
Right.
Mhm.
So with that being said, there's like different things that I feel like people like we're all programmed based off our relationship. So you're gonna handle me based off how I allow you to handle me.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And a lot of stuff I had to get her to see, for what it was. It's just situations where you can tell how a person is going to be and I just don't want to give certain people the opportunity to do stuff because I may I may sound like I got a lot of sense but like I
Mhm.
like how like I can
I
get real
know.
like
I know. And to be honest, like even though I don't really have like no blended situations or like
it's
stuff,
hard. I'm
it
telling you
is
it's
hard. But it's
hard.
even hard when you have family members that help you with your children. Boundaries, because there's times
They have
where
to know everybody has to
boundaries,
be on one accord.
Mhm.
one accord, and
Everybody.
sometimes it's not like that because like we have family members that help us with our children, and it's like
No, while they're here, I'm gonna If he want his bobo, I'm gonna give him his bobo. No, he's
If he's
3-year-old.
Right.
third
No,
No,
grounded,
exactly,
Right, so-
exactly. And that's
Yeah.
just like right now we're struggling with because I haven't been eating meat. I'm kind of pescatarian. I eat fish here and there, but I don't eat chicken, pork, beef. It's been over
So trying to get everybody on one
almost
accord.
2 years now. But like with my kids, you know, my husband family, they from here, they eat pork and all of that. I try to get my kids not to eat pork because they athletes. Like, you know, I want them to eat healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're over at my husband's house, you know, my husband's family's house, they feed them whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't like that shit.
Right.
I don't like it. So
Right.
I tell my husband, like, listen, you need to address that because that's not cool. Like, I
Right.
don't want my kids eating certain shit. Like, that's
Right.
not healthy. It's not good for them. And it's like, I feel like my husband, like, he's not like me. Like, you know, I'm a little bit more outspoken and I'll say how I feel. He is not confrontational.
Right.
And I respect that, but it's just like, yo, we have to stand up and say these things because if not, then people are going to continue to do it.
Right. And
like,
go outside of those boundaries.
Yeah,
right.
I get
So-
what you mean because when they're with me, I'm like, okay, your mother said you can't have this.
Exactly.
you can't
Like
have this.
my
Right,
family,
right.
my family, it's a
Yeah,
respect
it's
thing.
a
My
respect thing.
family, they
That's
be
how you was raised too. It's
right.
like,
My family, like my mother, she like, all right, listen. I'm like, Mom, they could come over, but they cannot play the game.
I
They
got
don't like
2 whoopings. So if I'm at my grandmother's house and my grandmother and I get in trouble over there, she beating me, and then when she tell my mom, I'm getting
another
beating.
ass whooping. Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like that's to me. That's what that statement means. When it
takes a village to raise a
That's
child.
what it
Yes,
means.
it does.
Everybody has to be on one accord. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
And sometimes, like, you know, just like at my husband's grandmother's house, I mean, I love her to death. Don't get me wrong, I love her. She's been supporting me ever since my kids. I never had to pay for daycare. Like, she kept them for me when I went through school. She still keep them. But, like, it's certain things I just don't like. Like, you know, like, for the simple fact, like, certain things in the house. Like, they use the bathroom at her house. She like, oh, don't flush it. If it's urine, don't flush it because she don't want her water bill to go up. But me on the other hand, when they at home,
Go ahead.
I'm like, flush the toilet. I'm like, well, at Granny's house, well, you're not at Granny's house. You're at home. When you use the bathroom, flush the toilet.
Right. And
you
I
know?
think with children, you have to understand, like, you sending them out, right? You sending them out into the world. So it's like, I was just telling Mel this. It's let me look at my text. You have to, as a parent, your job is to teach, protect, and provide.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to like what we was talking about with the thing, like, all right, you asked for it, you got permission, but no, I'm not about to keep opening and stuff for you.
Right.
Learn
how to do it.
So you got to teach them. Like the other day, we opened the fridge and we seen the apple. And the apple had a whole bunch of slits in it.
You trying to cut it?
Yeah, but the thing about it was they're trying to cut it with a plastic knife. But she's like, I don't want them using the sharp knife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but did you talk to them about the sharp knife? What if you weren't here and in the midst of them trying to do that, they went, started looking, seen the sharp knife, and just start cutting and cut their finger off.
Right.
So that's a part of that teaching. You don't see the apple, be like, oh, they're trying to cut this off, and get mad because it's a half-cut apple in the fridge. No, what you say is, okay, it's a perfect time for me to teach this lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of me, like, I don't have kids, but just growing up the way that I did and being around children and understanding how my childhood shaped me, like, when it comes to discipline, I don't want to hit. I don't want my kids to fear me.
Right.
I want my kids to be able to communicate any and everything to me, but then also understand that our positions.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be a thing, like, even for me being a stepfather to a young female girl, it's like she has this loyalty beyond to her dad because it's like, that's my dad.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you'd be like, how do you want me to treat you? Or showing affection. If she don't get the affection, like, let's say my affection is here and his affection is here and it's different, that, like, she not gonna understand.
Right.
Like, so it's one of those things where it's like, to her, that can be like, you overstepping your boundaries. So it's like, all right, how do you want me to treat you? You want me to treat you like a daughter? No. You want me to treat you like a friend? Yeah, treat me like a friend. But then it's like, can you come outside and help me ride my bike with me? So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, me being the adult, me being the one that's like, I have to understand it. Like, all right, this is her perspective. I have to respect that, respect her space. It's a lot of stuff, man.
Do you feel like with her, being that she's a girl, do you feel like certain things you're taking away, like by doing it, you're taking away from her dad?
No, because I feel like our positions are our positions. Like nobody can play your dad, nobody can play your mom. At the end of the day, no one. Like you know who your dad is, you know who your mom is. I think again, go back to that book, The Love Languages, how love is received and how love is given. It can be overwhelming if it's like I'm that, it's a different style of parenting, a different style of giving love. I might be more vocal. I might, she might hear me say, "Hey, hey, beautiful," or to her mom and stuff like that. So it's like, man, I never got to see that side. So it's just different, man. I think it's real different. It's real different. This is definitely an experience for me. I almost tapped out. I won't even lie. I almost tapped out. Just from thinking about my expectations and what I wanted, like overall, as far as my life wise. But then I have to go back and think about the actual person that I'm saying yes to.
Right.
Like I'm saying yes to those kids, but I'm really not. Like they're gonna be off and going one time, like at a certain point. So yeah, that's that. But
yeah, that seemed like a lot.
it is, and I don't have any kids, so
we
it's
might
like
have to have him come back.
So
on
and I look, and I don't have any kids, so it's like to the point where it's like, imagine running a household, and then at the same token, you have the back seat in a sense.
Yeah.
I have the back seat because it's one of those things where it's like she have to go up the chain and check and make sure this is okay. Like when you asked me about discipline earlier, and she said, "Oh, she's okay with me thumping him." Well, what's gonna happen when I thump him and then he go back and say, thump me? So now me and him gonna be going head to head.
Yeah.
They have to be in agreement first. Like although me and her have to be in agreement, they have to be in agreement as well. And I think you should give a person a authority based off their responsibility.
Right.
So if they don't, if you're not handling your responsibility, or if you don't have that much responsibility, your authority is gonna be less.
Right.
You should be able to say less. You should be able to and that's that.
Dang. Yeah,
it's
that's
a
a lot.
lot, man.
I didn't even think. I didn't even think about that. I know, like, I have my best friend. She's a stepmom. She has a stepdaughter, and she has 3 boys of her own. And
if I had
it's
kids,
challenges.
I think it'd be a little bit different. But like, I don't have.
I mean, I think in her situation it's a little bit difficult because she has 3 boys and then it's a girl. So it was just like, it's different raising boys versus girls, and then like
different.
they under the same household. So it's her husband's daughter or whatever. But she has challenges and stuff too. But I think what more her challenge probably is the fact of like how you said like how to basically connect and like how to love the child, because it's like she'll do things like I'm gonna take her to go get her nails and her hair done and just like,
but then that child has to feel like, okay, this person isn't like trying to be my mom,
right,
or like overstep. Like we have our own relationship, and it's gonna it's we put the emphasis to it. We put how we decide to navigate through that relationship. But I think as for kids, you have to explain stuff to them. I feel like if you keep them in the dark for too long, their imagination start putting stuff together on their own.
Yep.
And you don't want that.
But that do seem like a lot. Now it's just like I was saying, like with the family and stuff, like it is like boundaries. I feel like once the boundaries and stuff is established, I feel like then
and that's why I had to pull them to the side. So we talking about something, I can't buy you those. Why not? Why accident?
Yeah, like
have y'all been doing this? And they haven't even been doing it. So it's like one of those things where it's like you reaching.
Yeah.
So I don't, and I think with me being who I am and how I grew up, I told her like I'm gonna address them and I'm gonna address the situation. I'm not gonna be carrying it
And when I did it, I think that caused like tension.
I mean, but
So I don't.
you a man, and
Right.
that's your woman.
Right. So
like, I mean,
so I left it at that, and it's gonna be at that until he decide to address it and take responsibility and say, hey, look, that was messed up for me to do that or say that. When I did it, it was just more so like, what are you talking about? Like, what you mean? Like, yeah, all right, well, I don't handle disrespect like that, and I think you should tread lightly. And that's just me.
right.
And I would have done that with anybody because as a man, all you have is respect. Like, I'm not gonna step on your toes. I'm not gonna do anything like that. So it's
So like,
it's
how
a
did
lot, man.
the so basically, when Audrey was just here, you said that you basically, I guess I don't. This sound old school, but you basically bagged your girl. Like, you basically went in her DMs, so you went after her.
Yeah. So I actually met her. I met her at a day party.
Oh, okay.
Prior to even asking her out, anything, I thought she was. I was like, yo, she beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the midst of getting out of a relationship. So I
Okay.
didn't try to holler at her.
Yeah,
I
so you
didn't do
didn't have no
anything. I
intentions
was
for that.
right. I didn't
Yeah.
have any intentions for that. I was just like, she's beautiful. So I'm vibing, doing my thing, and then she said something to me like, "This your song, ain't it?" And we had a laugh, like, and then that was that. And then see her again. That was in November, and then May of the following year, I seen her at a nightclub. I'm by myself. I don't really go out like that. I just went out because it was a stressful day. I was like, I want to drown my thoughts in music.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to the club. I'm right at the speaker, walking around, a bottle. So she said something to me as a was leading out. She looked so familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So then I pressed it. I made sure they got in the Uber and everything. Gave her my number. She didn't save it. So then I went and looked her up on Instagram.
So was you salty that she didn't save your number?
I didn't know until after the fact because I gave her my number. I said, "Yo, let me know y'all got home safe." I think I said something to the Uber driver like, "I got your license plate number. Make sure they get home safe," something like that. So then I seen her on my boy page, and then I was like, "Oh, yo, that's the girl." So I looked her up. I slid in the DMs, and then she's like, "Oh, you found me," and then it just went from that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So do you think it's awkward for, say for example, if the shoe was on the other foot, what if she basically slid in your DMs and got you an Uber home and told the Uber driver, make sure he gets
I mean,
home
they
safe?
had her and her girls had their own Uber. I didn't get the Uber.
You didn't get the Uber.
I didn't get the Uber.
You just said make sure they get home safe.
Yeah,
but what if that was the case though? What if that was the case? What if she slid in your DMs and was like, hey,
the type of guy I am, I'll be like, she different. That's like she a boss.
See, we were talking about that earlier.
I'm be like, she a boss. I'm be like, but in the same token, it's like, all right, I see the memes too when they be like, if a female proposed to you and stuff like that. I mean, sometimes, yeah.
What do they say?
I think in this day and age, a lot of females are aggressive, but I feel like they have to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that. There's more women. There's more valuable women to put to the table than there is men. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. So I feel like a lot of females. I also feel like a lot of females in this generation, all they want is a wedding. They want to get married. They want to do that gender reveal.
The baby showers, big ass elaborate baby showers.
To me, that's just to me from what I see.
No,
I don't know what they go
like,
through on a day-to-day basis or what, but to me, that's the highlights. To me, that's just what they want. That's the end. That's the end all be all. And then to me, end result. Yeah. And to me, it's not like it's just like.
So you were saying if a girl approached you first,
it's nothing.
She's desperate.
I'm not saying.
Damn, he didn't say that.
I'm not saying she's desperate. I'm just saying that she know what she wants.
He said that she a bull. She's different.
No. If a female say, "Yo, I got your Uber home and all that," she a boss. Like just for even to take the initiative to do that, like you gotta think back on culture wise, and you just gotta think about the dynamics of men and women in general. Men, when we were young men, they gave us guns, cars, hammers, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and build.
when y'all were young, they
We got
gave
the
y'all Barbie
broom, we got the
dolls, they
fucking
gave y'all
kitchenette
dresses,
set,
right?
the shopping cart to
Right.
go fake food
So
shopping.
think about it. We've been programmed from the beginning, and that's why I be telling a lot of people too. It's like I had a conversation in the barbershop the other day. That was like, why is it so easy for men to walk out of relationships and leave the female with the kids, or not care for kids?
I don't want to be rude
because
because I'm married and I don't want to bash men. But go ahead.
So sometimes if a man don't care for a woman, and my own mother told me this, if a man don't care for a female, that's how he's gonna treat the child. It's wrong, but that's how he's gonna treat it. Some men, I'm not gonna say all men, but some men. That's why it's like that. And then y'all just were taught how to. Y'all been prepared from this from birth.
We use
Here,
born to be
I got my
domesticated.
baby, or I'm cooking, I'm doing all that stuff. We were taught go outside, go run, come back in the house, go throw the football, stop crying, like stuff like that.
And
so,
you know what? That's crazy because like I'll be talking to my husband. I'm like, listen, I want our boys to show some emotion, like you said, like when the baby like he crying, you want him to use his words. I want my boys like they 10. They still fucking cry. Like, they be whining over shit, too. And I'm like, listen, what's the problem? Speak up. What's the attitude about? Talk. What's wrong? Right. Tell me what's the problem so I can fix it. Right. So me and my husband, we real advocates for that because we want our children to be able to verbalize what the problem is so that way we can help them. Like, and I'm like, it's okay to be upset. It's okay to cry. It's okay. You cry, you be mad about it, and then we move on. Don't dwell on it. Right. Like, so... Right. It is like, cause like even like growing up like with me, like my mom was a single parent and stuff like that, and it's like I was a damn co-parent at a very young age, so I felt like I had to help her with a lot of things.
And it made you worry about certain things
with my kids, and it made me very overprotective with my children. It makes me very overprotective of my siblings as well, because my siblings, they grown, but they, everybody have hardships. We all go through things. We all go through relationship issues. And to be honest, I'm very passionate about my family. Like, so I'm just like really like headstrong about them, and like I'm very overprotective because I feel like my brother and sister, they mine. Like, they my kids. Right. Like, that's how I feel. Right. And then the thing is, like, me and my husband sometimes clash too because like my husband is the only child. He don't have no siblings.
So it's a completely different world for him.
Exactly.
To him is I've been a single. You've been a only child for a short stint.
You for like 6.5 years.
So it's like, so you like, it's different, man.
It is. It's very different, and I try to
no child syndrome is what I call it.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Your outlook on life, your outlook on people, your outlook on timing. Like, everything is going to be different. Because...
And then, he like, I'm like, man, you don't need to always get involved in this and this. I'm like, no, I'm going to get involved. If my brother and sister going through something and they in distress, I'm going to be there for them. I need to be there for them. And like, he understands, but he's just like, but chill, but you can't get yourself worked up. You can't do this, you can't do that. And like, I understand his intentions, but I'm like, yo, babe, you don't understand, bro. Like, you really don't understand. Like, my siblings are like my children. Yep. Like, believe it or not, even though they get on my nerves and they are adults, and they sometimes they don't make the best decisions, but like, I'm going to be there for them at every cost. Like, that's just what it is. And just like my children, I go to bat for my kids. Like, they have issues at school, I'm pulling up. Like, oh, my child did this. Oh, okay. Well, like, where's the principal? I'm pulling up. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm addressing it. Like, because I feel like even though my mom was a single parent and I went through things, I feel like she wanted to be there for certain things. She couldn't because my mother had to work. Like, she couldn't take over work. She couldn't come to every damn thing. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So now that I'm able to do that for my children and I'm able to, like, pop up and show up for things and issues and address issues, that's what I'm doing. And it just goes back to the damn Netflix series that we was talking about it before. When They See Us, did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard about it. Yeah,
it's disgusting. It's disgusting the way the system is. I mean, which we all know the system is corrupt.
Yeah.
Like, we're aware of it, and it's just disgusting because like the parents, they was
perfect. So not to cut you off, but all right, see how we can say we're aware of it. So even going back to children, and see how I was saying earlier, I was like, I don't want to be the type to where it's like, I feel like it's a child's place, it's a adult place. But then also there's certain things that they're going through that you have to explain to them because they're in it, whether they love it or not. So it's like, like I tell my girl, it's like, this might not be a conversation for you to have, but this might be a conversation that Dad might need to have with her, because you see certain things, and it's like she might not understand. Well,
Right.
why don't? Well, to me, a 9-year-old, you're not an adult, but you're a preteen. You're like,
I guess.
you're a
Kids.
preteen.
For a little girl, I
You're a
mean,
preteen.
No.
I
You're
don't
a
know. I don't
preteen.
have a little girl, so I don't know.
You're
You was
to
I
me.
don't think so.
This is just
A
how I grew
preteen?
up. 14, 15, 16. You about to be an adult.
Yeah.
14,
It
15,
depends on how they
16.
were brought up. How
Yeah,
they
and
grew
that's
up.
why I was saying for me,
Mhm.
like the way I like at 14, I was driving.
Mhm.
15, 16. Think, Britt, you met me at 17. Think
Mhm.
about all this, like, so I just feel like at 9 years old, if there's certain questions that she's asking, or there's certain way that you see her mental shaping,
Mhm.
you have to, as the responsible one, as the one that's been through certain things, you kind of have to shape it and mold it. If not, you're gonna leave them with them same traumas or them same different things, or maybe even worse.
Mhm.
Like, and we all different people. We all have different emotions. We all like certain things that make you sad, certain things that make me sad. Like, we not understand it. But worst thing I think you can allow a child to do is come up with things on their own.
Right, and that's goes back to me and my husband. I told him, I was like, we need to talk to them about sex. Like
Yep.
now, they about to go to
Now.
middle school. They need to
Now.
know. They need to know the genitals, what the genitals are, which they know.
There's a guy,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Derek Grace. I'm not sure if y'all follow him or not. He has an in-home banking game,
Mhm.
and what he did, like, is a monopoly game pretty much, and he's teaching people about in-home banking, about trust funds, about all this different stuff. But y'all probably see him. Is a guy on Instagram, Twitter, where any social media platform you can find him with dreads, tattoos all over his face.
Derek Grace.
Derek Grace. He had his daughter loading and unloading a
I
gun.
seen that. Yeah.
So think about that. I tell her, I say stuff like, I don't want to do that with my kids. No, you crazy. It's based off how you train them. It's based off what you teach them and what you put in them. They just seeds. So
pretty much. Yeah. But it's just like I don't want to give away because I don't know if y'all seen it. But basically, long story short, like these kids were convicted, wrongly convicted. It was just picked, five little random black boys was picked. They basically pinned the murder on them, and like the parents, they were so concerned about their jobs, not being able to provide and losing their jobs and stuff like that. So they couldn't really support their kids. They didn't know. They were ignorant. They were scared that they was gonna lose their job. They were scared
our
that
people
you know what I'm
shall
saying?
perish for lack of knowledge.
Right. They didn't have the knowledge to be there to support their kids. So now me, after watching that damn Netflix series, I'm like, listen to my kids. Y'all gonna learn y'all Miranda rights. Y'all gonna learn these traffic laws. Like y'all
As
need to
they
know
should.
what happens when y'all get stopped by the police. I was like, don't ever speak to nothing or nobody if I'm not there. If you don't have a lawyer present,
or you just gonna let them play Fortnite all night.
Right? You feel me?
See, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of it's what we pump into the kids. It's what we pump into them. So.
And then I also have to tell my kids too, like when the Tamir Rice situation happened, that poor kid, 12 years old, he only 2 years older than my boys. And it pisses me off when I tell certain family members, like, I don't like my kids playing with guns. Like, I don't like them playing with toy guns, especially outside. Like, if it's in the house, I really don't mind, but it's outside where it's visible. This little boy was outside with a BB gun and basically got shot and killed. No questions asked. I don't need my fucking kids to be outside playing.
Knocking at the door because they was playing.
And I have to, and it's sad that I have to tell my 10-year-old little boys, like, listen, y'all can't be outside playing with toy guns because this little boy, Tamir Rice, was outside with a BB gun. It wasn't a real gun, and the cops rolled up on him and shot him. But Sally, her son, she ain't got to explain that to her son because her son don't go through what the hell my son's, well, I'm not putting that on them, but black little boys go through. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a damn difference. And people be looking at me like, oh, Brett, nah, you overthinking, you just overprotective. No, that's just what it is. Like, because I'm pretty sure when Tamir Rice left his house, his mother wasn't thinking about that shit.
At all.
She was like, he gonna go outside and play and he gonna return. And she lost her 12-year-old little boy.
We here to teach.
Right.
Provide and protect. So while you doing that and having them conversations with them, you doing all three. You teaching them, you protecting them. Sometimes we get in that thing where it's just about protecting. So it's like it's more aggressive. It's more like, don't go outside. Then I tell you to come in the house. Tell them why.
Why? Exactly.
Tell them why, because that's how they're going to learn. Like, so.
Yeah, I think if somebody posted it on Facebook, like, do you always owe your child an explanation? I was like, to a certain extent. Yes, you do, because they need to understand. Like, you shouldn't have to come home from a frustrating ass day at work and then fucking take it out on your kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Had a conversation like, listen, boys, like, mommy had a rough day at work. I'm really aggravated and stressed out. I need y'all to take a bath. I need y'all to do what y'all need to do, and I'm gonna go lay down and take a nap. Like,
and honestly, that's gonna make them more responsible. Right. And that's gonna make them respect you more.
Right. But different strokes for different folks. Yeah. Everybody, like, to each his own. I don't judge nobody parenting or how they raise their kids. It is what it is. But I just know mine is different. Like, especially the way I was raised and the way I was brought up is way different. Like, my kids right now, my kids don't even have cell phones.
That's good.
And they salty. They salty about it. But
everybody else around.
Everybody else has an iPhone. They want to FaceTime. I mean, they have an iPad, but they don't have individual cell phones. And now it's it's to a point though. Like, they about to go to middle school. They gotta ride the bus. Now it's kind of like I'm forced. Now I gotta get them a cell phone. Right. You feel what I'm saying?
But think about it. You didn't conform to what society is doing. You did what works. Like, you did what works for you in your situation, and then. Honestly, that's gonna make them more responsible when they get their phones.
Right.
Like,
so it's like, for me, the cell phone thing is more of a safety thing. Like, right. I just want to make sure they got on the bus okay, and told them they're gonna have to be able to sit in the house for an hour or two to meet their dad get off work. Like, they in middle school.
Exactly.
Like, so.
It's crazy. I tell Mel to do that. Let Kima walk. Let her walk from the bus by herself. Yes. Like, what?
It builds character a little bit. But then again, like, everybody is different. Everybody, like, want to raise their kids different. And, like, I was real protective over the kids at a point in time, so I didn't want to do none of that stuff neither. Like, trying to, like, baby them and stuff. And I'm like, all right, it's time for them to, like, grow up. Like, they're about to go to middle school. I can't continue to do this anymore.
You're doing the right thing.
But that's wild though. But is there anything you want to touch on about, like, your business, like what you do, like, for? Because I see on your Instagram, like, you have.
I do real estate.
We need him to come back and say more, because I'm sure he has a lot more to say about the business. But
yeah. But on business, so I am a licensed broker in North Carolina, but I don't practice real estate like other brokers, as far as, like, just basically what I do is asset management. So I can help people buy and sell homes, but what I do is I work with a handful of investors, and I help them strengthen their portfolio, or they might do like 1031 exchanges, development deals. Like, the most recent thing that I'm doing is helping NCCU with their 4 to 5 year development plan.
Audrey, she alumni.
Yeah. So it's business wise, it's great. I've been licensed since 2015. So for the past 4 years,
it's been grinding.
I probably sold over $10 million in real estate.
God damn.
Yeah, so we working.
That's what's up.
Glory be to God.
That's what's up. So, have you had any obstacles while you were trying to get licensed?
Yeah. I took the course 3 times, and I took my state and national exam 11 times.
God
and
damn.
All those numbers are factual numbers.
Really?
So without going into everything, that's what I've been through. I took the course 3 times. So I went to class. It's a 6-week course. I took that 3 times. On the 3rd time, I passed. And then when I went to take my state and national exam, I took it on my birthday in 2016. I passed the state exam. I failed the national. After doing that, it took me 10 times. So 10 times after that, and then I finally got licensed.
Wait, doesn't it cost every time you take it?
Every time. Every time. So I was in the red. I was in the red before I got my first commission check.
God, dog.
But it was something that I wanted to do, something I believed in, and honestly, me myself, when I sat back and I thought about it when I graduated from high school in 2010, and everybody kept telling me, not everybody, but my mom and my dad, the people that you think will know you the best, which my mom, I would say that hands down. My dad, I didn't live in the same household with him. Plus, he was in prison for some time, so he know me, but he don't really know me.
Yeah.
So I would say my mom, hearing my mom say, yeah, you need to go to the Army, you need to go to Marines because you need discipline, you need all these different things. And I went to a recruiter, did all this stuff,
and it wasn't for
then
you.
when my grandmother told me you need to take your time and just do what you want to do that you're passionate about, when I sat back and I thought about growing up, what I like cars, I like houses, I like making money. So I was like, man, what could I make money from? And then I ended up running across Jay Morrison in 2011. There's a wake up video where he was talking about real estate wholesaling. So I jumped and did a wholesale deal, but then I also went to real estate school because I was like, I can't be working at Papa John's forever.
I know that's right.
So long story short, after what 4 years, that same Papa John's that I used to deliver pizzas at, I helped somebody buy it, and I just leased it out for the past 10 years. So
wow,
that's all God. That's why I say glory be to God, because it's like my hustle.
That's crazy.
Me like working and actually just doing what I'm passionate about is what led me to, go ahead and do things like that. To me, that's a big thing. Like I used to deliver pizza there and hate it.
That's what's up. That's some real like motivation right there.
So just do what you want to do and not what everybody else wants you to do.
Amen.
That's right.
And stay, as long as morally, ethically right, you're doing like what you were taught growing up. Do what you're passionate about, and that's it. Nobody's gonna pay you a dollar amount that you're worth. Regardless, you're the only one that's gonna pay you what you're worth, and you're gonna have to work for it.
Work for it. So, do you have any advice to any aspiring real estate agents or anyone that's actually taking a course or trying to study for their state or national exams?
This is not a get rich quick scheme. So understand people, understand yourself, and understand the market. If you can get those 3 things down pat, you'll be successful in this business. With real estate, like selling houses, the more people you know, the better. If you're trying to get into development deals, commercial deals, it's going to be based off of the quality of people that you know. Because you can know a lot of people, but if a lot of those people are just like, people that want to go get a house, stay there for 30 years, it's different. The type of clientele that I have, I'm dealing with business owners, I'm dealing with people who understand money from a different perspective. So it makes it different. But first, find out what you're passionate about. If real estate is something that you want to get into, understand that it's not going to be a get rich quick scheme. I don't care what anybody is telling you, it's not going to be a get rich quick scheme. And that's it. Just stick with it.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
That's good.
So, did you have any questions for us?
No.
Nah. You sure?
Yeah.
You want to come back?
Yeah,
Would you
come back anytime.
and bring
absolutely.
What's her name?
Melanie.
Melanie, yeah. Please come back
I
and
call
bring
her Mel Love.
Mel Love.
That's cute.
Pretty.
But we need a couple on here. So
yeah, we'll come back. Y'all set it up. And
I
I know for sure with her, I'll be here on time. I won't miss the date. We won't have to reschedule. She's on point.
Yeah, we need a black couple on. We haven't had a couple on here yet, so that'll be dope.
Y'all just let us know, and then we'll be here.
Okay.
That's what's up. So just let people know if you want people to follow you. Let people
know
where to follow you.
Real Estate, absolutely. I need the support. I need any referrals you may have. So part of the thing that I'm doing is like I don't really residential is cool, but I understand that part of my gifts I'm better off like helping people with developments and commercial. So I do have a team of people that's handling residential, that's passionate about it. So, I just want to be able to help empower, all my clients. Every client that I'm, taking on or that I'm helping them pretty much build a real estate portfolio. I don't care. We're going to sit down. You're going to tell me, all right, I want to buy this house. This is going to be my house. I'm going to tell you, okay, this is going to be your house, but you're going to pull a HELOC out and you're going to go and reinvest. And then you're going to get residual income every month because you're not going to work in 30 years.
Right.
Instead of you saying, okay, I'm giving them we getting a loan and we're going to pay this house and we're going to own it in 30 years. No.
Do anybody ever stay in a house for 30 years and pay off their house?
Yeah, but by the time that's done, they're giving it to JoJo or Samantha, and then they selling it for pennies on the dollars because they don't want to pay the taxes and they don't understand all the hard work that was just put into it.
That's crazy.
And sorry if there's any JoJo's or Samantha's listening. That's the names that just came up.
So do you want to leave off with, like, do you have a favorite inspirational quote? Like, we try to leave off with like an inspirational saying or quote to leave with the audience.
I'll leave y'all with this one, but I'm also give y'all my favorite. The one that I'm gonna leave y'all with is, good is the result of poor performance. So don't go for good. We're not being good. We're being great. Good is the result of poor performance. So we're going for great, extraordinary, everything above good. But my favorite quote is, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
That's deep.
That's deep.
I love it. Do you have anything to leave off?
Just keep going no matter what.
Girl.
I love saying that.
She say that every time. By
Reginald,
Reginald Lewis, because we went on a trip we did a girl trip to Baltimore, and we went to the Reginald L. Lewis.
See, but stuff like that got to be done more. Like, I was thinking about renting out a bus trip and getting a whole bunch of people and going to DC to the Black Museum.
Right.
Like stuff like that.
So sad. I mean, well, it was sad, but it was good. It was a good feeling to be in there, you know. Like,
oh yeah, because we did. It was a lot about like the slavery and all that type of stuff. Yeah, but yeah, that'd be dope though. I would love to do that. But the thing is, you got to get people that's really willing to do stuff like that, because you know some people just be talking.
That's true.
But I don't. Do I have anything inspirational? I do. I share this on my Facebook. It's not really inspirational. It's just a saying, like, you know, you can't be ugly to people and then try to live a beautiful life, because that's, you don't do stuff like, you don't be a crab in a barrel. If you going through it and you miserable, don't try to like bring people down with you.
People, right.
Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Misery
like,
loves company.
Right.
You know?
So, you know, and if there's anyone around you that's bringing you down or having that negative energy, you need to
stay away from them.
Right. Remove yourself. Remove yourself and protect your peace at all costs, because let me tell you something. You are important and you come first.
Amen. That was good.
So, thank you so much, Keen, for coming out. We appreciate you coming out and joining us on the podcast. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can email us at lovelifeafter18@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at lovelife.after. Lovelife.after? What is it? Love.lifeafter. Sorry, y'all. Love.life.after. Right? No. Love.lifeafter?
Yes.
Love. Life after. All right.
Gmail.
And the Gmail, yeah. Okay. lovelifeafter18@gmail.com. And let us know if you want to be a guest, you want to come on, you have any like comments or questions for us. We are open and we'll talk about it, like, you know. And that's it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening, and we'll be back on the next episode. See ya.
Queen, baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black queen, a black queen.
I'm addicted. I know I'm addicted.